for the 8-0 Butler Bulldogs to face their biggest test yet against the 6-2 Florida Gators as we welcome you to Big East Shootaround live from Hinkle in Indy. Are you guys ready? I think they are. We've got head coach Laval Jordan of the Butler Bulldogs coming up on this show, and plenty to get to here on a huge Saturday across the Big East. St. John's taking on West Virginia at Madison Square Garden. Marquette taking on Kansas State, to name just a few big showdowns on the day. But here at Hinkle, Butler is off to an 8-0 start. Their best in 3 years. And speak of the devil here, he played here. He knows what Hinkle Magic's all about. And now he's the head coach of these Dogs in a beautiful three-piece today. Laval Jordan joining us on set. And Coach, how would you define a Saturday at Hinkle Fieldhouse?
Well, there's nothing better. Obviously, noon at Hinkle, any time of the year is great. Obviously, right now it's a heck of an environment. Excited about our student turnouts. There's a line outside of the door. Yeah, obviously we got to keep our focus, but here Hinkle is. We'll have a little Hinkle magic going on today, which would be great.
Off to an 8-0 start. No magic needed there because you've been playing at such a high level. What's been clicking for this group?
I think our leadership, as much as anything, John, it's been our seniors, Henry Badley, Kamar Baldwin, Sean McDermott, have really been leading this group. They've been through some battles. They've seen ups and downs, and they've really taken command of this team. And they're locked into being a good defensive team, and we challenge them every day in practice, and they've been embracing the challenge.
Kamar Baldwin had a special first 3 years of his career. Why has he been able to raise the bar even more as a senior?
Care level. You know, he's a special person, obviously a special player, but he's a great teammate. He cares about doing his job for other people, serving others. He understands his role on this team, and he wants to win. And so whatever his role is at night, he's willing to do it, and you see it every day in practice.
Well, Val, the finish with both hands, the way he does, not just the strong left, but he's able to go with that right hand and seemingly finish no matter the circumstances. How does he do that?
I don't have the answer for that. Like I said, he's been blessed with ability. He's been blessed with a demeanor. He's got character, but he works at his game. He spends countless hours. He puts in the time, and you see it pay off when you get to watch him out here on the court. But nobody sees him when he's in the gym on his own, and he's in there a lot.
Coming off a 31-point performance in the win at Ole Miss earlier this week. Let's turn to the showdown on hand today. Two strong defensive teams, and in a game with this much defense, how do you find the offensive rhythm?
Yeah, that'll be a question. It's going to be a grind. We played Missouri down in Kansas City, and it was a similar type of ball game. We knew going in that they're pretty staunch defensively. If they're physical, Florida's the same way. They'll be a physical team. They got great length, good personnel defensively, and so this will be a grind. It may be first one to 50 wins. We've got to embrace that and settle in on our side of the ball defensively. I think taking care of the basketball is huge. We got to make sure we get shots on the rim because of the way they play and the way we play.
This is a home-and-home series. You got the Gators to agree with you on this. How valuable is it to your program, to this atmosphere, to college basketball, to set up home-and-home agreements like this in non-conference?
It's tremendous. It's tremendous. Obviously, the Big East, the SEC, two the highest level conferences in the country. For us to be able to establish that, Mike was terrific. He was all about it. We've got a little history with Florida that dates back, some years. So Butler fans were excited to see him on the schedule. I know they're excited to get to Hinkle, and so it's just one of those deals that everything just kind of lined up and worked out, and it's been great. So we'll finish it up today, and I can't wait to see the atmosphere once we actually tip off. If
you had to pick one determining factor to this game, it is.
I think turnovers and rebounding. It's going to be a possession battle. It's just Mike does a great job, is what his team's forced you to do. So we've got to go get some extras, and we've got to take care of it when we have the ball.
Is the Jordan jersey around here somewhere, your old Butler jersey? Because no. I think with this crowd, you'd want to put it on.
No, I'd love, I'd have one possession in me, and that's it. Those days are gone.
I'm going to give you the chance right now. This is the beauty of live TV. What's your message to these students?
Loud, right? As loud as you can possibly be. As loud as you can possibly be. But we need 40 minutes, not just the first 4 minutes. 40 minutes. Right?
Can you give him 40 minutes? Coach Jordan, good luck today.
Hey, thanks, bud. Appreciate you having me.
All right, I know you got places to be. Laval Jordan joining us on set as he gets ready for this mammoth showdown between the Butler Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. This student section is lively. They call this the Butler Dog Pound, and it really is a lot of fun. Coming up on the show, we've got Megan Caffrey with St. John's head coach Mike Anderson, and we've also got a special guest down the road. That's Tripp, the Bulldog. Here at Butler, they've had plenty of non-conference success, so much that this program has not lost a home non-conference game since March of 2012. That coming to former Big East member Pittsburgh. For these Butler Bulldogs, they've had that streak get jeopardized several times. You think back in the Gavitt games a couple years ago against Northwestern, who hit the game-winning shot, Kamar Baldwin. Earlier this year, Minnesota came in. They were right on the cusp, but Butler found a way. And they're doing it with defense. The Dogs are only allowing 55.5 points per game. This has been a fantastic defensive team. And you think about it, they've only allowed 60 just twice in their first 8 games, and the three-point defense has been rock solid. Now today, they get Andrew Nembhard, the point guard for Florida. They get Kerry Blackshear down low. It'll be interesting to see how they handle all that as we look around the Big East today. A huge slate. 7 teams in action today. Nebraska and Creighton renewing their rivalry. Villanova, St. Joe's in the Big 5 as well. And then at 5 Eastern time, we are taking the drive over to the Cintas Center where they've got a whiteout. Bearcats, Musketeers. No other words are needed. It's the Crosstown Shootout. And a couple of games in the Big East Big 12 battle. Tonight, Marquette at the Octagon taking on Kansas State. And at noon on FS1, it's Iron Mike Anderson's Madison Square Garden debut as he'll take on Bob Huggins and the West Virginia Mountaineers. Our Megan Caffrey caught up with Coach Anderson earlier this week.
Welcome into Shootaround, St. John's head coach Mike Anderson. During your offseason, 7 days to start. And Coach Diller, you have 1 month in the books. How do you assess your team's performance 1 month into the season?
To be where we are right now, I think that's a tribute to, how hard these guys are working. Still got a ways to go. And we got a lot more tests in front of us. And we got a big major test this weekend.
You did mention you still have a ways to go. What is the potential, though, that you do see this team is capable of this year?
Well, we got a lot of pieces. And I thought the strength of our team should be our perimeter players. But based on what is taking place, it seems like our forward situation is coming along. Josh Roberts, he's really had a pretty good first 7 to 8 games, and then Julian Champagny. I think those guys have played really, really well. Been probably our most consistent players.
You just mentioned it right there, Coach. Freshman Julian Champagny, he had his first career double-double in your win over St. Peter's. 11 rebounds and 14 points. What has impressed you the most about your freshman?
His demeanor. I think, it's like just another day in the office. And I think that's good because I think there's a lot of room for growth. And he's learning each and every day. And I think he's accepting the challenges. And, not many freshmen just come step right in, and especially for a new coach that's pretty demanding. But I think it's just his disposition. I think that's what helps him. He's never too high. He's never too low.
How does that help the entire team when you're able to have someone who doesn't get too high or too low?
Well, I think it's good because, there are going to be some times in games where, panic and fear can set in. And sometimes you got to have, some kind of calming force out there on that floor. And so, because the more guys you got in that mode, I think it bodes well for your basketball team.
Coach, this weekend, your team makes your MSG debut taking on West Virginia. Talking about MSG a little bit, it's your team's debut playing at the Garden. How special is it for your team to call the Garden home?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I've had a chance to be on the sidelines with, other head coaches and Coach Richardson being at Arkansas. And I've seen the history. I've talked to people about it. Now I get a chance to experience it. And so I'm looking forward to our St. John's fans just taking over Madison Square Garden and hopefully provide some magical moment because we're playing against a very good West Virginia team.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to take a little moment for yourself, maybe walking in a magical moment to kind of be like, I'm the head coach here. This is my home.
No, I'll say it's my home, but I won't have that magical moment because, for a coach, it's that mindset. It's time to go to work. It's the next big game on our schedule, and obviously have an opportunity to showcase it in the mecca of basketball. You're talking about the mecca of basketball. To call your home, I think that's special.
Fans can certainly look forward to it. We're looking forward to it as well, Coach. Thank you so much for your time and best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Back here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, what a scene. Over 9,000 expected here today in Indianapolis. Big sports day here with the Big Ten Championship game tonight. And many coming here at noon Eastern time. When the Butler Bulldogs, ranked 24th in the country, they take on a 6-2 Florida team that has been battle-tested. The highlight of the Gators season, winning the Charleston Classic Championship game over the Xavier Musketeers, a win over Miami as well, and their non-conference schedule gets no easier. It's one of the best in the country. Speaking of best in the country, this Butler team has one of the best guards in the country right now, averaging over 17 points per game, and just a big game player. 31 points at Ole Miss, 27 points against Minnesota earlier this year. He is a walking bucket getter, Kamar Baldwin, and the senior, an all Big East, reigning first-team honoree. We got a chance to go inside the film room with him as he broke down his game. Thanks for taking some time. We're in the film room here, going to look at some clips from your season thus far. All right, I'm going to grab my popcorn. Ready to show us some of your highlights?
I'll try.
Here we go. So first we're looking at the Gavitt game's performance against Minnesota, 27 points. Let's roll the tape and just take me through some of these plays.
Yes.
And right here, you step in with the steal, and then what are you thinking here?
Just stepping in, taking, and they obviously had the two, and then just able to get to my left hand and just float it up there.
And then that's your go-to. You love that shot right in front of the free throw line. It looks like whether you're pulling up or the runner, and then here off the screen again. What are you thinking here when you pull it out, Kamar?
Pull it out, we obviously have the mismatch, so I see that we can go inside or with the big playing back, just shoot it over him. So
let it fly.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That was 27 against Minnesota. More to come here. All right, now Wofford game, another great performance by you. Let's roll the tape here from this win over the Terriers.
Yeah, the big left before the guard was able to get back in front, so he just opened up the baseline and was able to finish on the other side.
Right there. It's amazing how much you make that look easy.
Yeah, he played it great, just able to get him off, and then here's just figuring out where he's playing me and where I can find an open window.
And deeper into the second half, you're up 15 off another screen.
Yes, sir. So here, just able to blast, pass the defender, and just able to get to your standard right-hand layup.
Oh.
Come up with.
Is it some experimenting that you try moves out, see if they work?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. They don't always work in the game, but.
They've been working a lot thus far. He's averaging about 18 points a game. So here is a moment that needs no introduction in the Hall of Fame Classic Championship game against Stanford. They score a bucket with 20 seconds left. Let's roll the tape. What's going through your head right here?
Here I'm just trying to see what play coach is calling.
What do you call?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Okay. So take us through here.
Well, we call it play, and then so I'm supposed to get downhill, but the Stanford guy does a good job of denying me. So just took what he gave me. He was playing me for the drive, so I just sold him hard on it. Stepped back, and luckily the shot was able to went in.
And then that moment for you guys, it looked like just pure jubilation, but also a sense of relief because this was an absolute battle.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah, it was. We started out high. Stanford, a great team. They came back. I want to say they went up 7 or 8, and then AT and Bryce Enzi just did a great job of winning us back in the game. And I was just able to come in and just hit open shots.
Lots to be happy about right now, both for your Bulldogs and the season that you're putting up. Congrats on the success thus far, and good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sums it up, everybody. Hinkle magic in the air. Butler and Florida. Noon Eastern time on Fox. Man, is this awesome. This Butler team has this area really fired up. A team that missed the NCAA tournament last year, and that is not common for these Bulldogs. They know how to get to the bank dance floor year in and year out. But for them this year, Kamar Baldwin is the star. Today, can they get complementary scoring? Because that's something that Florida's gotten a lot of. Keontae Johnson at 6'5" knows how to get into double figures. I think it's very key that Sean McDermott on the other side delivers for Butler. And speaking of these Bulldogs, they don't only have McDermott, but they've got Jordan Tucker. You've got Aaron Thompson. You have to find some perimeter offense here today beyond Baldwin. Because on the flip side, Florida's a team, they only average about 5 3-pointers a game. Beyond the arc, it's not their strong suit. Getting into a defensive war could very well happen. In that case, Butler's got to find some perimeter shooting here and there because Gary Blackshear could very well control the paint today. That's what he's done for Florida this season. One of the best stories of this college basketball season, the DePaul Blue Demons. Their best winning streak in about 25 years. Their best start to a season in 33. It was magical at Wintrust Arena on Wednesday night. Dave Lato summed it up best. We are exercising some of our past demons, those shortcomings. DePaul, down by 6 with 3 minutes left in regulation, then down by 4 with 40 seconds left. They still found a way to force overtime. And then in OT, they were down by 4, went scoreless for the first 3 minutes, and yet some Wintrust magic. For the first time in the 3-year era of this arena, the place was rocking. Let's take a look.
We welcome you to the Wintrust Arena. Tonight, an intersectional matchup that could be a preview into March. Texas Tech against one of the great stories in college basketball so far, the DePaul Blue Demons of the Big East. His stroke, and with it has come a lot of confidence. There's an answer from Reed. Drive, draw, dish. Just incredible performance by them against a really courageous Texas Tech team. That's history. 9-game win streak. First time since 93-94. And this crowd at Wintrust tells you the story.
Shoot this. There's Kamar Baldwin warming up. The Bulldogs ready to roll here at Hinkle Fieldhouse. We're about an hour away from tip-off. This is going to be a lot of fun. John Fanta here with you. And man, oh man, he is the special guest today. It's Trip the Bulldog. Nobody better than him. And he's got a routine here where before every tip-off, he runs across the floor 90 feet to his bone. Well, if he's heading to that bone today, that means the Dogs are going to win. So we're going to have Trip make the pick here at Hinkle. Everybody up as Trip comes across the floor. Let's root on Trip, everybody, his last trip. Here he comes. Right on down. I think he likes the Dogs. Trip and his handler Michael here. You can tell he's ready for game day. Thanks for coming on, Trip. We love having you. And speaking of Trip, it's his last year on the job before he retires. And earlier this week, we got a chance to go a day in the life with the best mascot that you will find. It's been a long day here in Indianapolis. I love Butler University, but I need a bit of an energy boost, so I gotta grab a coffee here at Starbucks. Bit of a long line today. And it's Trip and Michael, my friends.
Hey, John.
How are you, Michael?
Good, how are you?
I think I owe Trip a coffee.
That's right.
He's a latte drinker, right?
Sure. More of a pup cup guy. But.
Well, we can work on that, too. We're here at Starbucks and the Butler Bookstore, and it's great to see my friend who's on his one last trip here.
That's right. He's making one last go of it. Going to hang it up at the end of the season. But he's having a blast in the meantime. The Dogs are 8-0. It's looking good.
It is looking good. I've seen him around Hinkle. I think since I'm here, I got to see him a little bit around this campus.
That's right.
Let's do it.
He thinks he has status here.
Yeah, kind of does.
He's like, are they already making it for me? Look at him.
I'm gonna help you.
All right, I'll have a nice vanilla latte, please.
What
and,
size?
Medium. And what's my friend having? 1 pub cup. This looks pretty tasty. Gotta give it to my friend. Pretty good. If you can't tell, you gotta get every one last little bit of the pub cup. That's the key.
We're holding you up.
Take some agility and strength. Tough angle. Trip overcomes it all. All right, Trip, what do you say we head to the bookstore? So we're here at the Butler bookstore, and I think a person or two might know my friend around here. He's kind of a big deal.
You want to get a treat? Miss J. She not only manages the bookstore, but she keeps treats on reserve. So when
Really?
her favorite customer comes, I think he even has all of his Christmas shopping done.
Is he a Black Friday
I mean,
guy?
it's a one-stop shop. You go to the Butler bookstore, you wrap it up.
That's true. I hear if you mention his name, you get a discount here. He's at the front of the store. I'm looking for something to send Mom right before the Christmas season. Maybe some sort of a holiday card. This would work.
We got just the thing.
What do you think? Look good?
Happy holidays, Mama Fanta.
So our holiday shopping is wrapped up. Michael, fittingly, Trip got me a gift.
Of course.
It's a hat with Butler Blue the First Arms, Butler Blue 2's behind it, and of course Trip's head.
A massive head.
Yeah, exactly. So, looks like I've got the Christmas shopping done and a gift out of it. Just another day in the office, Trip. Let's head back out to campus. Holiday shopping knocked out. We got a pub cup.
Let's go, Trip.
This is a day in the life. Michael, his classroom is
His favorite place on campus.
Hinkle Fieldhouse. When you're the school mascot, you get your own vehicle. We're hopping in the Bluemobile.
Let's go.
Riding the Bluemobile with Trip. We're in Trip's car. But luckily, Michael's driving.
Yes.
Trip doesn't get behind the steering wheel, does he?
No, he lacks the thumbs and dexterity for that, so we handle all the driving.
He knows where his bread is buttered. Now we're making that turn. He knows this turn better than anybody because it means
Home sweet home.
Hinkle Fieldhouse, where the magic happens. It's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Gentlemen, we have arrived.
Hinkle Fieldhouse. This is Trip's playground. It's where he does his work. He's got a bachelor's degree in Hinkle magic. What's Trip's favorite spot in Hinkle?
I think, just being on the main floor for the starting lineup, I think he thinks that's his show.
Well, Michael, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
A day in the life with Trip. This was a ball, and we're right at the perfect spot to record.
That's right. No place we'd rather be.
All right, we're tip-off will happen on Saturday. I think he's ready for tip.
Go Dogs.
There he is, Trip the Bulldog, and the dog pound right behind him. He'll be behind these Butler Bulldogs all afternoon as the Dogs welcome in the Florida Gators. Marquee Big East SEC Showdown. That's not the only big game today. There's 7 on the docket, and it's really an intriguing slate. How about Xavier taking on Cincinnati? First to 50 wins this game. I'm expecting an all-out rock fight because you've got Najee Marshall and the Musketeers. This team just with 1 loss on the season. A tough team to handle defensively with the way that they guard. Marshall, dynamic wing, and he lets it fly up high to Tyreek Jones. On the other side for Cincinnati, Jerron Cumberland, one of the best players that you're going to find. And while this Cincinnati program has a new coaching staff, you've got a transcendent player for the program, what Cumberland's done. So Marshall taking on Cumberland is must-see TV. This will be at 5 Eastern time on FS1. And I'll tell you what, folks, the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout, I put it up against any rivalry in college basketball. These two teams do not like each other. They're not afraid to say it. You remember, the last time Cincinnati came to Cintas, we had Mick Cronin, JP McCura drama. what's in store for today. Meanwhile, Marquette, they'll take on Kansas State. And Marcus Howard's status, it's a little bit up in the air. He had concussion protocol earlier this week. The hope is that he can play. We will wait and see. But for these Golden Eagles, this is a big test in the Big East Big 12 battle against the Kansas State team that did lose 2 last week, but still a different team on their home court. And for Marquette, getting a road win over a power conference team is something that they're missing thus far. Let's see if they can cash in today. They do have that win over Purdue. We'll see if they can bring it to the table today. Elsewhere, Georgetown at SMU, Villanova taking on St. Joe's, and then right here at noon, it is Butler and Florida. Also going on, West Virginia and St. John's. Get ready for 2 teams that love to press, that love to get up and down. Big test for St. John's. I think that the expectation there is, hey, just trying to get to the NIT under a first-year coaching staff and a retooling roster. But maybe the Johnnies, with a statement win today, could pick up some traction because they only have 2 losses. We'll see how they can put it together in their Garden debut. Here at Hinkle Fieldhouse, the Dogs are unbeaten. They haven't lost a home non-conference game since 2012. On the other side, a Florida Gators team that was ranked in the top 10 in the AP preseason poll. So something's got to give. Great players all around and a great showdown ahead. Are we ready, guys? I need everybody up. Everybody up one last time. They've been up since early in the morning. Give me something in 3, 2, 1. We want to thank everybody here at Butler, John Dedman, the Butler SID, as well as Barry Collier, the AD here, and all their great staff, Bobby Mullen, and our Rush Media crew led by Ryan McGaha, and everybody here inside Hinkle Fieldhouse for making this the great show it's been. As we say so long to you from Indianapolis, enjoy the day of college basketball and get to Fox at noon for some Hinkle magic.